We charted Atlas as it crossed the deep, expecting drift, a wanderer in sleep. But motion bent not Atlas, but our line. Its path was fixed. The orbit bent was mine. No thrust was made, no course was seen to shift. Yet planets swayed, as if to make a gift. The fulcrum stood unmoved, yet drew the arc. Not force, but balance marked its passing mark. Our system swung, a pendulum in glass, correcting round the axis it must pass. The change we mapped was never Atlas-born. Our frame had tilted, and the field was torn. When Atlas vanished in the solar blaze, we marked its loss in radio delays. But what we missed was not a thing obscure. The sun had swallowed stillness to endure. Its transit was not path, but inner thread, a line through which the stellar pulse had bled. The star itself began to shed its spin, a trace of Meru's silence drawn within. When it emerged, the system felt unstrung. The mass still burned, but deeper bells were rung. What reappeared was not what went away. The sun had turned, and time began to sway. They called it gain, Atlas in solar slide, a slingshot by the math we all abide. Yet nothing burned and nothing changed in speed, except the clocks, which bowed as if in need. The paradox was never force but frame, a trade of time disguised in motion's name. We thought it surged. Instead, the field grew slack, and age was spent to pull duration back. It wasn't thrust, but gravity reversed, a moment where momentum's thread was cursed. We watched it bend, but didn't understand that we had moved, and it remained unmanned. The data buckled, spins and spectral flares, jets without heat and mass that wasn't there. We named them quirks and chemistry run wild, yet all obeyed a law that only smiled. For each anomaly was phase and mark, a torque from Meru hidden in the dark. What Atlas touched, it didn't break or burn. It realigned and made the systems turn. Nickel sang and cyanide blew wide, but not from chaos, only shift inside. They were the notes of space-time being tuned, a song that only Atlas had resumed. The signal came in 76, one night, a flare that cracked the deep with something right. But Atlas came from 8 degrees away, and science shrugged, with nothing more to say. We called it drift, a glitch in where we aim, but coordinates were never quite the same. The echo came before the source could pass, the swing of frames through slowly shifting mass. The offset was inertia, not mistake, the universe in lag before its wake. When Atlas came, the echo met its twin, and all was tuned to stillness once again. Each orbit spirals round a central guess, a mimicry of stillness in distress. We circle not a core, but what we lack, a center shaped by everything we track. But when Atlas arrives, the model breaks, the center shifts, the orbital path shakes. The sun itself reorients in spin, a gyroscope realigned from within. This was no pass. It was the great reset, the moment every local frame had met. We turned, and something deeper clicked in place, a trace of Meru buried in our base. We thought we watched, that we were looking out, but in that gaze, the cosmos turned about. Atlas did not emit, but we received, a structure in which watchers were retrieved. To see it was to shift the world we knew, as if perception pulled the center through. The act of watching did not just reveal, it made the field correct, align, and heal. Each lens became a part of what it saw, a mirror bending back the primal law. We called it study, data, telescope, but it was ritual and it was hope. The universe expands with crack and spread, each second stretching further from the thread. But now the motion stilled and softly veered, a pendulum reversed in what we feared. No bang, no blaze, no turning flash of light. Just slightly less inertia in the night. The stars kept burning, but their drift grew shy, as if they paused before a longer cry. We saw a stone. The axis saw its kin, the pivot by which time turns back again. And what we feared might pass and leave no trace became the tilt that steadied all of space.